The moment you stop chasing, so many people come into the world of manifestation carrying the weight of effort. They have been told to work harder, visualize longer, repeat affirmations with more force, and never let their guard down for fear of slipping back into doubt. They clutch their dreams tightly, trying to control every thought and micromanage every outcome. And then, after months or years of trying, they look around and realize that nothing has shifted. The life they wanted still feels out of reach, and frustration starts to creep in. This is the paradox at the heart of manifestation. The more you try to force it, the further it seems to drift away. The more desperately you cling to it, the less it seems to respond. Effort becomes resistance. Trying becomes the very block that prevents reality from reorganizing. And the harder you push, the louder the silence becomes. What most people don't realize is that manifestation was never designed to be complicated. It was never meant to be a game of endless techniques and rigid control. Manifestation works best when you stop trying so hard. To understand why, we need to look at the observer effect itself. At the quantum level, particles exist in a state of possibility until observed. They are not fixed, not decided, not chosen until attention collapses them into a specific outcome. Your consciousness acts in the same way. It collapses potential into reality by observing it, but observation is not force. It is not frantic effort, it is awareness. The act of noticing, of holding focus lightly but clearly, is what makes reality reorganize. When you try to force it, you are not observing possibility, you are resisting what is. Think about how water behaves. The harder you squeeze it, the more it slips through your fingers. But when you cup your hands gently, water rests easily in your palm. The same is true with manifestation. When you try to control with fear, the energy slips away. But when you hold the vision with ease, the field responds. The effortless method is not about giving up or doing nothing. It is about learning the difference between aligned focus and desperate effort. It is about stepping into a state where the universe meets you halfway instead of you pushing endlessly against it. Most people misunderstand manifestation because they believe it is about controlling reality. They think they must dominate their thoughts, crush their doubts, and force themselves into constant positivity. But control is the language of fear. Control assumes the universe will not respond unless you wrestle it into submission. True manifestation works through trust, alignment, and coherence. It is about letting your inner state become a match for your desired reality, not about forcing outcomes with tension. Consider how many times something flowed into your life effortlessly. Perhaps a person you were thinking of called you out of the blue. Perhaps an opportunity arrived at the exact moment you were ready, without you chasing it. Perhaps you received guidance through synchronicity at the perfect time. These moments did not arrive because you forced them. They arrived because your energy was aligned, your observation was open, and your attention was coherent. The field responded naturally because you were not in resistance. Trying too hard keeps you in resistance because it signals to the universe that you do not yet trust. Every desperate repetition of an affirmation communicates doubt. Every forced visualization communicates fear of lack. Every attempt to micromanage reality broadcasts the frequency of misalignment. The universe listens not to the words you say, but to the vibration you embody. And if that vibration is desperate effort, it collapses more reasons to keep trying. The cycle feeds itself, leaving people wondering why their techniques never work. The effortless method flips this dynamic. Instead of struggling to create, you shift into the role of observer. You hold the vision lightly, knowing it is already forming. You feel into the outcome as though it is present now, not because you are begging for it, but because you are aligned with it. You let go of the need to control every detail, trusting that the field arranges with more intelligence than your mind ever could. You stop pushing, and in that pause, the flow returns. This is not about passivity. It is about precision. When you stop scattering your energy through endless effort, your focus sharpens. Your observation becomes coherent. You are no longer broadcasting doubt in one moment and hope in the next. You are broadcasting steady alignment. And when the signal is clear, the universe mirrors it back with precision. The paradox is that manifestation becomes simpler and faster when you stop trying to make it complicated. Science supports this truth. Studies of peak performance show that flow states emerge when effort drops away. Musicians, athletes, and creators often report that their best work happens when they stop forcing and start allowing. The same principle applies to manifestation. When you are relaxed but focused, trusting but observant, aligned but not desperate, you enter a flow state with reality. Synchronicities multiply. Timing becomes precise. Opportunities appear naturally. This is not luck. It is the effortless method in action. You did not find this message by chance. You found it because you are ready to release the struggle. You are ready to stop forcing and start allowing. Somewhere inside, you already know that trying harder is not the answer. You have seen glimpses of how easily life aligns when you let go. This message is confirmation that the effortless method is real, that the universe responds to ease, and that manifestation works best when you stop trying so hard. So let this truth settle. You are not here to control the universe. You are here to align with it. You are not here to force reality into submission. You are here to observe it into coherence. You are not here to wrestle with every thought. You are here to embody the vibration of your future self and trust that the field will mirror it. Manifestation is not a battle. It is a dance. And the more you, the silent force blocking your dreams, if manifestation feels difficult, it is almost always because of resistance. Resistance is not always loud or obvious. It can hide beneath the surface, quietly shaping your focus without you realizing it. It shows up as tension in the body, as the restless need to control, as the subtle belief that things cannot truly change. It is the hidden weight that keeps effort heavy and manifestation slow. The more resistance you carry, the harder you try, and the harder you try, the stronger the resistance becomes. This is why most people find themselves in endless cycles of effort without results. Resistance begins with unconscious beliefs. If you grew up hearing that life is struggle, your mind expects difficulty. If you were told that abundance is only for others, your heart quietly doubts your worth. If you were taught that success must be earned through sacrifice, you may resist the idea that it can come with ease. These beliefs do not disappear just because you think positively. They sit beneath the surface, broadcasting their frequency into the field. Even as you visualize abundance, your unconscious may still be observing scarcity. Even as you affirm love, your nervous system may still be collapsing unworthiness. This is why the observer effect is not just about what you think on the surface. It is about what you embody. You cannot force coherence by ignoring resistance. You must face it. You must see how it has been shaping your observation, often in ways you did not notice. The moment you bring resistance into awareness, it loses some of its power. It is no longer running the show in the dark. Awareness shines a light on the hidden patterns and gives you the power to choose differently. Resistance also shows up as tension. Think of the body as a mirror of the mind. When you are trying too hard, your body tightens. Shoulders rise, jaw clenches, breath becomes shallow. The body reveals what the unconscious is carrying. When you are aligned, the body relaxes. Breath deepens, shoulders drop, energy flows. If you want to know whether you are in resistance, do not only check your thoughts, check your body. Your state is always broadcasting more loudly than your words. Another way resistance hides is in the need to control timing. When you feel restless because things are not happening fast enough, you are observing from lack. You are collapsing the belief that it is not here yet, that you must keep pushing, that the universe is not moving quickly enough. This impatience communicates doubt. It tells the field that you are not aligned with trust. The result is more waiting, more struggle, more reasons to keep forcing. Letting go of timing is one of the most powerful ways to release resistance because it opens the door for divine orchestration. Fear is the root of all resistance. Fear of failure, fear of disappointment, fear of letting go of control. Even fear of success can create blocks because success means stepping into the unknown. The unconscious often prefers the familiar struggle to the unfamiliar ease. It resists what it cannot predict. This is why releasing resistance requires courage. You must be willing to step beyond the comfort of struggle and into the vulnerability of trust. The effortless method is not about denying resistance. It is about dissolving it. You dissolve resistance by facing it directly, not by fighting it. When fear arises, you acknowledge it and breathe through it. When doubt surfaces, you notice it without letting it dictate your focus. When tension grips the body, you release it gently. Each act of awareness loosens the hold of resistance. Over time, what once felt heavy becomes light. What once felt like a block becomes fuel for clarity. Synchronicities often appear as encouragement when resistance begins to dissolve. A number pattern flashes at the exact moment you release a doubt. A message arrives just as you let go of control. An opportunity shows up the day you stop forcing. These are not random coincidences. They are feedback. The universe is showing you that your alignment is returning, that your observation is becoming coherent again. Each sign is proof that letting go is working. This is why surrender is such a central part of manifestation. Surrender does not mean giving up on your desires. It means giving up resistance to them. It means trusting that the universe knows the path better than your fear does. It means aligning with ease instead of fighting for control. When you surrender, you shift from effort to flow. You stop trying to push reality into place and start allowing reality to align itself with your vibration. Notice how life feels when you are in flow. Ideas arrive without effort. Conversations line up at the perfect moment. Doors open as though they were waiting for you. You are not pushing against the current, but moving with it. This is what happens when resistance dissolves. The observer effect becomes fluid because your signal is clear. You are no longer broadcasting tension into the field. You are broadcasting trust. The universe mirrors that trust with synchronicity, timing, and alignment. The paradox is that most people think surrender will make them powerless. They fear that if they let go, nothing will happen. In truth, surrender is the moment when power returns. Trying too hard keeps you trapped in resistance, but letting go frees your focus to align with the reality you want. Surrender does not weaken your signal, it strengthens it. It makes your observation coherent, and coherence collapses reality with precision. If you are hearing this message now, it is because you are ready to release the hidden weight. You are ready to stop carrying resistance that no longer serves you. You are ready to trust the process of alignment more than the illusion of control. The universe placed this message before you as confirmation that the effortless method is not only real but available to you now. You do not have to keep trying harder. You have to let go of resistance. When you dissolve resistance, manifestation stops feeling like work and starts feeling like discovery. Each day becomes an unfolding of synchronicities, signals, and effortless alignments. You realize that reality was never against you, it was always waiting for you to release the blocks within yourself. The universe is not testing you, it is mirroring you. And the moment you let go, it mirrors freedom. So take a breath. Notice where your body is holding tension. Notice the thoughts that repeat in fear. Notice the subtle impatience with timing, and then let them go. Trust that your observation is enough, that your focus is shaping reality even when you are not forcing. The effortless method begins here in the release of resistance. And once you release it, You will see with undeniable clarity why manifestation works best when you stop trying so hard. The hidden frequency of reality. At the heart of effortless manifestation lies coherence. Coherence is the state in which what you think and what you feel match each other so completely that your focus becomes unshakable. Most people think manifestation is about thoughts alone, but if thoughts and emotions are out of sync, the signal is scattered. You can tell yourself one thing while feeling another, and in that contradiction, the field receives mixed messages. The result is slow or inconsistent manifestation because reality is responding not to words but to vibration. The mind is powerful, but it does not work alone. The body broadcasts the emotional signal that amplifies thought. If you visualize abundance while secretly feeling fear of lack, it is the fear that dominates. If you affirm love while still carrying resentment, it is the resentment that broadcasts most strongly. The universe mirrors what you embody, not what you say. This is why coherence is essential. When thoughts and emotions are aligned, your observation becomes clear and consistent. The field does not have to sort through contradictions. It receives a single powerful signal and it responds with precision. Science confirms this truth. The heart generates the most powerful electromagnetic field in the body, even stronger than the brain. When your heart and mind are out of sync, the field is jagged and unstable. But when they are in harmony, the signal becomes coherent, rhythmic, and strong. Studies show that this coherence influences not only emotional well-being, but also physical health, mental clarity, and creative ability. In spiritual terms, coherence is the state in which your vibration is pure enough for the universe to respond without distortion. Think of coherence as a laser. Normal light scatters in all directions, illuminating but weak. Laser light, however, is coherent, every photon aligned, every wave in rhythm. That alignment gives it power to cut through steel. The same is true of your focus. When thoughts and emotions scatter, your signal is weak. When they align, your signal becomes laser-like. The universe responds because the message is clear, and the manifestation arrives with precision. Coherence also explains why moments of deep gratitude or love often trigger synchronicities. When you feel genuine gratitude and hold a thought that matches it, your mind and heart synchronize. The signal you broadcast becomes coherent, and the field mirrors it back. Suddenly numbers appear, timing feels precise, and opportunities seem to fall into your lap. This is not coincidence, it is resonance. You created coherence, and reality responded. The effortless method is really the coherent method. It works not because you force outcomes, but because you align your inner state with what you desire. You think abundance and you feel gratitude for it. You think love and you feel the joy of connection. You think possibility and you feel excitement for the unknown. When thought and emotion merge, the observer effect multiplies. Your focus collapses reality because your broadcast is unified. You have likely experienced glimpses of this before. Perhaps there was a day when you felt so aligned, so grateful, so inspired that everything seemed to flow. The right people appeared, the right words were spoken, the right doors opened. That was coherence. It was not luck. It was not randomness. It was the power of alignment working through you. The effortless flow you felt is always available when coherence is present. The challenge is that most people live out of coherence. Their minds and hearts tell different stories. The mind says, I believe, while the heart says, I doubt. The mind says, I am abundant, while the body tenses with fear of bills. The mind says, I am loved, while the heart aches with wounds of the past. This incoherence scatters the signal, and the universe mirrors confusion back. They try harder, thinking more effort will fix it, but the truth is that more effort only amplifies resistance. What is needed is coherence, not control. Coherence begins with authenticity. You cannot force yourself to feel gratitude if you are secretly resentful. You cannot demand love of yourself if you are still healing pain. Coherence is not about pretending. It is about choosing thoughts that align with emotions you can genuinely access. If you cannot feel gratitude for everything, feel gratitude for something small and true. If you cannot feel love for the future yet, feel love for a single present moment. When thought and feeling match authentically, coherence begins. As coherence strengthens, synchronicity becomes constant. The universe no longer has to push through static to reach you. Your signal is so clear that the feedback loop becomes immediate. You think it, you feel it, and the reflection appears. This is the effortless state people describe as flow. It feels magical, but it is simply the natural result of alignment. The observer effect becomes reliable because your observation is steady. The more you practice coherence, the more natural it feels. At first, it may seem difficult to bring thoughts and emotions into harmony. Old patterns resist, doubts linger. Fear pulls at the body even when the mind tries to stay positive. But with awareness, practice, and presence, coherence stabilizes. The nervous system learns new states. The body relaxes into alignment. The mind trusts the process. What once felt like effort becomes ease. When coherence becomes your default, manifestation feels less like trying and more like receiving. You are no longer demanding outcomes from the universe. You are embodying them so fully that the universe has no choice but to reflect them. This is the effortless method. It is not about more techniques or more effort. It is about coherence between thought and emotion, heart and mind, observation and embodiment. If you are listening to this now, it is because you are ready to strengthen your coherence. You are ready to stop scattering your energy with mixed signals and start broadcasting a unified state. You are ready to embody your desires, not just think about them. The universe placed this message before you as confirmation that coherence is your next step. And once you step into it, you will see with your own eyes how effortless manifestation truly is. So remember this truth. Thoughts without emotions are weak. Emotions without thoughts are unfocused. But together, they create coherence, and coherence collapses reality with precision. This is the secret the universe has been whispering all along. And now it is yours to live. The illusion of effort. One of the greatest mistakes people make when approaching manifestation is overcomplication. They gather dozens of techniques, fill notebooks with affirmations, create endless vision boards, and spend hours each day repeating rituals in the hope that one of them will unlock the magic. At first, it feels productive. They feel like they are doing something powerful by layering on more practices. But over time, the weight of effort becomes heavy. Instead of feeling empowered, they feel exhausted. Instead of feeling aligned, they feel trapped in a schedule of spiritual work that feels more like obligation than creation. This is not how manifestation was designed to work. The universe does not require a complicated ritual to respond to you. The field does not demand that you memorize 10 different affirmations or visualize, with perfect detail at a specific time of day. These tools are not wrong, but they are not the source of creation. The source is your observation. The observer effect shows that attention collapses possibilities into form. The state of consciousness you embody is what shapes your reality. Techniques are only ever meant to support alignment. When they become the focus themselves, they turn into resistance. Overcomplication is another form of trying too hard. It communicates to the universe that you do not trust simplicity. It broadcasts doubt that your observation alone is enough. If you feel you must repeat a ritual endlessly just to be heard, then the frequency you are broadcasting is lack of trust. The universe responds faithfully, mirroring back more reasons to doubt. Instead of moving into flow, you move deeper into frustration. The harder you try, the less you see results, and the cycle continues. The effortless method breaks this cycle by stripping manifestation back to its essence. At the core, manifestation is not about what you do, but about what you are. It is about embodying the state of the reality you desire. When you can hold the thought and the emotion together in coherence, you have already created the signal. Nothing more is required. The rituals, affirmations, and visualizations are optional supports, not obligations. They help you align when you need reminders, but they are not the source of creation. You are. Think of a child imagining a game. They do not need complex rituals to make their imagination feel real. They simply believe and embody it, and in that embodiment, the experience comes alive. The same is true with manifestation. It is not meant to be complicated. It is meant to be natural, an extension of the way consciousness interacts with the field. The more you simplify, the more powerful your focus becomes. The more you overcomplicate, the weaker your observation becomes, scattered across too many techniques. Simplicity also allows you to relax. When you know that your observation is enough, you no longer feel pressure to do things perfectly. You can release the need to track every thought or schedule every ritual. You can let your practice become natural, woven into the flow of daily life. You focus when you feel inspired. You embody gratitude when it rises. You visualize when it feels joyful, not when it feels forced. In that ease, coherence strengthens. The field responds not to the number of hours you put in, but to the clarity of your vibration. Overcomplication also distracts from the real work, which is inner alignment. You can perform endless rituals while still carrying unconscious resistance. You can visualize for hours while still embodying fear. You can affirm abundance while still feeling lack. If the inner state is not coherent, the outer rituals will not matter. Manifestation is an inside-out process. No external tool can substitute for genuine alignment. Once you understand this, you can use techniques wisely. They become ways to remind yourself of your power, not ways to compensate for doubt. This is why many people experience breakthroughs only after they let go of techniques. When they finally stop doing so much and allow themselves to trust, the manifestation appears. It is not that the universe was waiting for the ritual to be complete. It was waiting for the resistance to dissolve. Simplicity brings trust. Trust brings coherence. Coherence collapses reality. It really is that straightforward. The effortless method is about removing layers until only truth remains. It asks you to stop trying to manipulate reality with endless tools and start embodying the vibration of what you desire. When you are in that vibration, no extra effort is required. The universe responds naturally. You are not chasing outcomes. You are not checking boxes. You are not proving yourself. You are simply being, and that state of being is what creates. This is not to say that techniques are useless. They can be powerful when used with the right intention. An affirmation can lift your state. Visualization can help you embody a new identity. Ritual can focus your mind. But the moment these tools feel heavy, the moment they feel like obligation, they have shifted into resistance. The key is to use them as support, not as the source. You are the source. Your observation is the force that shapes reality. The tools are only reminders, never requirements. Imagine your consciousness as a clear lens through which reality comes into focus. Each time you overcomplicate, the lens fogs with effort. Each time you simplify, the lens clears. When the lens is clear, the field responds instantly. You see synchronicities more clearly. You notice signs more frequently. The flow returns because your observation is no longer scattered. Simplicity is clarity, and clarity is creation. This is why the most profound spiritual teachers often emphasize simplicity. They point to silence, to presence, to awareness itself. They remind us that creation is natural, not something we have to fight for. The field is always listening. The universe is always responding. The only question is whether your signal is coherent or scattered. Simplicity brings coherence. Coherence brings results. If you are here listening to this, it is because you are ready to release overcomplication. You are ready to stop chasing techniques and start embodying alignment. You are ready to remember that your observation alone is enough. This message is your confirmation. The universe brought it into your timeline because you were asking for clarity. And the clarity is this: manifestation is simpler than you think. It works best when you stop trying so hard, when you release resistance, and when you allow simplicity to guide you. So let this truth settle into your heart. You do not need more rituals. You do not need more effort. You do not need to complicate what was always meant to be natural. You only need to observe with coherence, embody with trust, and live with ease. That is the effortless method. That is the path to alignment. And the more you embrace simplicity, the more you will see reality respond with precision, synchronicity, and flow. The surrender switch. When people hear the word surrender, they often mistake it for weakness. They imagine giving up, lowering their standards, or settling for less. But in the realm of manifestation, surrender is the exact opposite. It is not weakness, it is strength. It is not giving up, it is letting in. Surrender is the release of resistance, the opening of space for the universe to do what it does best. It is the act of trusting that your observation has already been heard and that reality is already reorganizing around your focus. Think about how many times in your life something finally happened when you stopped pushing for it. The job offer arrived after you gave up worrying about interviews. The relationship appeared when you stopped desperately searching. The breakthrough came the moment you let go of control. These moments are not random. They reveal the principle of surrender. When you stop gripping so tightly, the energy flows. When you stop trying so hard, the alignment appears. The field responds most clearly when you step back and allow it. Surrender is powerful because it dissolves the frequency of lack. As long as you cling desperately to an outcome, you are broadcasting that it is missing. You are collapsing the reality where you do not yet have it. Every affirmation spoken in fear reinforces absence. Every visualization drenched in doubt strengthens delay. But the moment you surrender, you shift into trust. You stop telling the universe that it has not yet arrived, and you start embodying the feeling that it is already here. That shift collapses reality faster than all the effort in the world. Trust is the natural partner of surrender. Surrender without trust feels like giving up, but surrender with trust becomes effortless creation. Trust means knowing that your role is to observe and embody, not to micromanage the timing or the details. Trust means believing that the universe is not against you, that life is not random, that synchronicities are proof that the process is unfolding perfectly. Trust means holding your vision lightly, confident that it is forming, even when the evidence has not yet appeared. This is why synchronicities multiply when you surrender. The universe speaks in signs to confirm that alignment is in motion. When you release the struggle, the signals become louder. Numbers appear with precision. Messages arrive at just the right time. Conversations echo your thoughts. These are confirmations that the field is responding, that your surrender has opened the channel. They remind you that you are not drifting aimlessly but flowing with purpose. The paradox is that surrender accelerates manifestation. The mind believes that the harder you try, the faster it should happen. But in truth, the harder you try, the more resistance you create. Surrender removes resistance, allowing the field to respond without distortion. What once felt stuck suddenly flows. What once felt delayed suddenly aligns. You realize that surrender was never about slowing down. It was about clearing the obstacles that you unknowingly placed in your own way. Surrender also reveals the depth of your faith. Anyone can feel confident when results are visible. True trust is shown when nothing appears on the surface, yet you still hold the vibration. True faith is when you continue to embody your future self even when the evidence is absent. This is the test that most people avoid. They give up too soon, collapsing doubt instead of coherence. But if you can surrender and trust through the silence, the breakthrough always comes. Think of surrender as opening your hands. When you grip tightly, you cannot receive. When you open, space is created for something new to land. The universe cannot place the blessing in clenched fists. It needs openness, space, and trust. Surrender is that openness. It is the act of saying, I no longer need to control this because I trust that it is already mine. And when you embody that state, the universe mirrors it with precision. Surrender also aligns you with divine timing. When you trust, you stop demanding that reality arrive on your schedule. You allow the orchestration of the field to unfold. You recognize that timing is not random but intelligent. Every delay is preparation. Every pause is alignment. Every detour is guidance. Trust allows you to see this clearly. Instead of resisting the wait, you notice the synchronicities along the way. You realize that manifestation is not a single moment of arrival, but an ongoing dance of alignment. When you practice surrender daily, you begin to feel lighter. The tension that once filled your body fades. The constant mental chatter quiets. You stop rehearsing what is missing and start enjoying what is present. You move through life with more ease, and that ease itself becomes magnetic. People notice your calm. Opportunities feel drawn to you. Synchronicities line up with greater frequency. The universe reflects your trust by giving you more reasons to trust. If you are hearing this now, it is because you are ready to surrender. You are ready to stop trying to control every detail. You are ready to release the fear that nothing will happen without your constant effort. You are ready to trust that the effortless method is real, that the universe is listening, and that your role is not to push but to align. The fact that you are here shows that you have reached the point where surrender is not only possible but necessary. So breathe. Let go of the tension in your body. Release the need to control timing. Trust that your observation is enough, that your coherence is enough, that your presence is enough. You do not have to force manifestation into existence. You only need to surrender and allow it to flow. And when you do, you will see with clarity that the universe was never against you. It was always waiting for you to let go. Surrender is not the end of effort, it is the beginning of flow. Trust is not weakness, it is the greatest strength. Together, they form the accelerator of manifestation. When you embody them, the effortless method becomes not just an idea but a lived experience. The universe reorganizes around your trust, synchronicities multiply, and reality collapses in ways more beautiful than you could have planned. This is the power of surrender. This is the secret of trust, and now it is yours. When the universe chooses the moment, one of the deepest lessons the universe teaches is that everything unfolds at the right moment. Human beings grow restless with waiting. We are conditioned to measure progress by deadlines, clocks, and calendars. We set goals and then pressure ourselves to achieve them on our schedule. When things do not arrive when we demand, we feel frustrated, doubtful, or even abandoned by the universe. But manifestation does not move according to human impatience. It unfolds with precision in alignment with the rhythm of divine timing. Divine timing is not about delay for the sake of delay. It is about orchestration. Imagine the universe as a symphony. Every instrument must come in at the right moment for the music to make sense. If one note arrives too soon or too late, the harmony collapses. Manifestation works in the same way. Your focus is one note, but so are the actions of others, the evolution of your identity, the alignment of circumstances, and the unfolding of synchronicities. The manifestation appears when the entire arrangement is coherent. This explains why some desires feel slow to arrive. It is not that the universe is ignoring you or withholding. It is that the pieces are still falling into place. Timing is arranging in ways you cannot yet see. The field is aligning probabilities so that when the outcome arrives, it fits seamlessly into your life. If it came too soon, it might collapse under the weight of unreadiness. If it came too late, the opportunity would be wasted. Divine timing ensures precision, not punishment. Synchronicities are the language of timing. They are like subtle notes in the symphony, reminding you that the music is still playing. When you notice repeating numbers, meaningful messages, or perfect coincidences, these are signals that you are aligned, that timing is unfolding. They reassure you that just because the full manifestation is not yet visible does not mean nothing is happening. The universe uses synchronicity as encouragement, proof that you are on track. Patience is often the missing ingredient in manifestation. People think that if results do not appear instantly, something is wrong. They panic, double their efforts, or abandon the process entirely. But impatience is a form of resistance. It broadcasts lack. It tells the field, it is not here yet, and collapses realities where you remain waiting. Patience, on the other hand, broadcasts trust. It tells the field, I know it is arriving, and aligns you with the reality where it has already formed. Trust in timing is trust in the intelligence of the universe itself. Divine timing is also a teacher. It shows you what you need to release before the manifestation can arrive. If you are impatient, it teaches you surrender. If you are fearful, it teaches you faith. If you are attached, it teaches you detachment. Every pause is a lesson, every delay an invitation to grow into the version of yourself who can hold what you are asking for. The waiting is not wasted, it is preparation. The universe is shaping you into coherence so that when the manifestation appears, it stays. Consider moments in your past when something finally arrived later than you wanted, but exactly when you needed. Perhaps a job came after countless rejections, only to turn out to be better than any you applied for earlier. Perhaps a relationship appeared after years of loneliness, just when you had grown strong enough to handle love with maturity. Perhaps an idea surfaced long after you first struggled for inspiration, but precisely when you had the skills to bring it to life. Looking back, the timing was flawless. What seemed like delay was perfection. When you understand this, impatience begins to dissolve. You stop demanding results now and start trusting the process. You stop fighting the silence and start listening to it. You recognize that every moment is part of the unfolding, not just the final arrival. You stop asking when will it come and start asking how am I being prepared. This shift transforms waiting from struggle into alignment. You discover that patience itself is a manifestation tool. Divine timing also protects you. Sometimes what you want is real but not yet stable. If it arrived too soon, it could slip away. If it came before you were ready, it could harm instead of help. The universe waits until the environment is coherent enough to hold the manifestation. Timing ensures that your desires arrive in a form that lasts. This is not denial but care. It is the intelligence of the field arranging outcomes with precision so that they can sustain, not collapse. Trusting timing does not mean doing nothing. It means acting from inspiration instead of desperation. You follow nudges, pursue synchronicities, and take steps that feel aligned, not frantic. You cooperate with timing instead of resisting it. When you act from trust, your actions flow with the orchestration. Opportunities feel natural instead of forced. Conversations happen at just the right moment. Effort feels lighter because it is supported by resonance. If you are listening to this now, it may be because you are in a season of waiting. You may feel that your manifestation is taking too long, that nothing is happening, that your observation is being ignored. This message is your sign that the timing is unfolding perfectly. The universe has not forgotten you. It is arranging with precision. The silence is not absence. It is preparation. The signs you have noticed are confirmation that alignment is underway. The effortless method requires trust in timing. When you surrender to the rhythm of the universe, you discover that nothing is late and nothing is early. Everything arrives in harmony with your growth, your alignment, and your coherence. The observer effect proves that your focus matters. Divine timing proves that patience matters. Together they create miracles. When you trust both, manifestation becomes not only effortless but inevitable. So breathe, let go of the clock, release the calendar. Stop demanding that life unfold on your schedule. Trust that your observation is enough and that the timing is perfect. Trust the signs that appear as encouragement. Trust the silence as preparation. Trust the flow as intelligence. When you live this way, you stop doubting delays and start appreciating them. You realize that divine timing is not only accurate, it is beautiful. Stepping into the future you. The effortless method of manifestation is not only about focus or timing. At its core, it is about identity. Who you believe yourself to be determines what you observe and what you collapse into form. If you continue to see yourself as the old self, the one carrying doubts, fears, and limitations, then your observation will keep collapsing realities that match that version of you. But when you begin to embody your future self, the one who already lives the life you desire, you broadcast a new frequency. You send a coherent signal into the field that aligns with that identity, and reality mirrors it back with precision. Identity is powerful because it operates beneath thought. You can think abundance all day long, but if your identity is still the person who struggles, your observation collapses struggle. You can visualize success for hours, but if you still see yourself as unworthy, your observation collapses failure. This is why techniques alone often fail. They do not address identity. The universe listens not just to what you want, but to who you are. When you change identity, you change everything. Shifting identity does not mean pretending. It does not mean faking confidence or forcing positivity. It means choosing to embody the state of your future self now. Ask yourself, how would I think if I already had what I desire? How would I feel if it were already mine? How would I act, speak, and carry myself? The answers to those questions reveal the state of your future self. When you begin to live from that state now, you collapse the timeline where it becomes inevitable. This is why the effortless method works. Trying too hard often comes from the old identity. The old self doubts, so it forces. The old self fears, so it clings. The old self believes manifestation must be earned through struggle, so it overcomplicates the process. But the future self trusts. The future self feels worthy. The future self embodies coherence naturally. When you align with that identity, manifestation stops feeling like effort and starts feeling like alignment. Synchronicities confirm this shift. As you embody the future self, the universe reflects it back with signs. Numbers appear that match your state. Conversations arise that confirm your new identity. Opportunities align with the person you are becoming, not the person you used to be. Each synchronicity is proof that your signal has shifted. The field recognizes the new broadcast and reorganizes reality around it. Shifting identity also explains why manifestation sometimes feels delayed. The universe is not withholding. It is waiting for you to embody the version of yourself who can hold the reality you want. If you ask for abundance while still embodying scarcity, the manifestation cannot stabilize. If you ask for love while still embodying unworthiness, the relationship cannot last. Identity must match the desire. When it does, manifestation feels inevitable. The process of identity shifting is subtle but powerful. It begins with awareness. Notice the stories you tell about yourself. Notice the labels you carry. Notice the ways you describe your life. Are they aligned with your future self or your past self? Awareness reveals the identity you have been unconsciously observing from. Once you see it, you can choose differently. You can begin to release the old labels and embody new ones. Embodiment is the practice. Begin to think as your future self would think. Feel as your future self would feel. Act as your future self would act. At first, it may feel strange, like stepping into clothes that do not quite fit. But the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, the identity shift stabilizes. You no longer pretend to be your future self, you are your future self. And the universe responds to that embodiment with synchronicities, opportunities, and alignment. The beauty of identity shifting is that it accelerates manifestation. Instead of waiting for evidence before you change first, and the evidence follows. You do not wait to feel worthy until abundance arrives. You embody worthiness now, and abundance mirrors it. You do not wait to feel loved until the relationship appears. You embody love now, and the relationship aligns. You do not wait to feel successful until the opportunity comes. You embody success now, and the opportunity finds you. This is the effortless method. It works because the universe always reflects who you are being. If you are listening to this now, it is because you are ready to shift. You are ready to stop observing from the old self and start embodying the future self. You are ready to collapse the timeline where your desires are inevitable. The universe brought this message into your awareness as confirmation that you are capable of stepping into a new identity. And the moment you do, everything changes. Identity is not fixed. It is fluid, alive, and responsive. At any moment, you can choose to embody a new version of yourself. Every time you align thought and emotion with that identity, you strengthen the signal. Every time you act as though it is already real, you collapse the probability. Every time you hold coherence as your future self, you bring that timeline closer. You do not have to wait for proof. You only need to embody the truth. So ask yourself now, who am I becoming? What is the state of the self I wish to embody? And how can I begin to live from that state today? The answers are not abstract, they are practical. They shape how you think, how you feel, how you observe reality. And when you embody them, the universe responds. The observer effect guarantees it. The effortless method is the identity method. When you embody the self who already lives the reality you desire, manifestation stops being a future goal and becomes a present state. The universe mirrors your identity, and in that reflection, your desires arrive effortlessly. This is the truth you were meant to remember. This is the secret you were chosen to hear. And now that you know it, you can never see yourself the same way again. The flow state of creation. By now you understand that manifestation was never meant to be a struggle. It was never designed to be a task that drains you with endless effort, rituals, and control. Manifestation is the natural byproduct of observation, coherence, and identity. It happens when you stop trying so hard, when you let go of resistance, when you embody trust, when you surrender to timing, and when you step into the state of your future self. This is the effortless method, and once you live it, you will wonder why you ever tried to force reality into place. Living in flow means you no longer separate manifestation from life. You stop treating it as a practice you do for a few minutes each day and begin to see it as the state you live in all the time. Every thought, every feeling, every observation is part of the process. You move through life aware that your focus is creative, that your coherence is magnetic, and that your identity is the signal shaping your world. There is no longer a line between manifestation and daily living. They become one and the same. This shift transforms the way you see everything. Challenges no longer look like punishments but like feedback, showing you where old patterns are still active. Delays no longer feel like failure but like timing, teaching you trust and patience. Synchronicities no longer feel like rare miracles, but like the language of the universe, guiding you step by step. You begin to walk with a calm awareness that nothing is random, that every moment has meaning, that every signal is part of the conversation between you and the field. Living in flow also changes the way you carry yourself. The tension that once weighed on your shoulders fades. You breathe more deeply, speak more clearly, and act more confidently. People around you notice your energy even if they cannot explain it. They feel calmer in your presence, more inspired, more hopeful. Without forcing anyone to change, you influence them simply by embodying coherence. You become a walking synchronicity in their lives, a mirror of what is possible. The effortless method does not mean that life becomes free of challenges. It means that challenges no longer control you. You respond with awareness instead of reaction, with trust instead of fear, with presence instead of panic. You begin to see difficulties as opportunities to refine your observation, to strengthen your coherence, to embody your future self more deeply. Each obstacle becomes a stepping stone. Each pause becomes a preparation. Each experience becomes part of the alignment. As you live this way, manifestation stops feeling like something you chase and starts feeling like something that chases you. Opportunities appear with perfect timing. People show up who match your new vibration. Conversations unfold that shift your path. Resources arrive just when you need them. It feels as though reality itself is conspiring in your favor, not because you are lucky, but because you are aligned. You are living as a conscious observer, and the universe has no choice but to reflect your state. Living in the effortless flow also expands your sense of purpose. You realize that your alignment is not only for you, but for the collective. Every time you embody coherence, you contribute to the shared field. Every synchronicity you notice strengthens the dialogue between humanity and the universe. Every act of trust, every moment of surrender, every shift of identity ripples outward. You are not only collapsing realities for yourself, you are helping collapse timelines for all of us. Your flow becomes part of the larger flow, your coherence part of the greater harmony. At this stage, gratitude becomes your natural state. Not forced gratitude, but authentic appreciation that arises because you can see how perfectly everything is unfolding. You no longer demand that reality match your expectations. You celebrate how it surprises you, how it teaches you, how it guides you in ways your mind could not have planned. Gratitude flows not just for the outcomes, but for the process itself. You find yourself grateful even in the waiting, even in the lessons, even in the challenges, because you trust the intelligence behind them. This is the life the effortless method offers you. A life of synchronicity where signs are constant. A life of alignment where timing is flawless. A life of identity where you embody the future self without waiting for proof. A life of coherence where thought and emotion move as one. A life of trust where surrender accelerates manifestation instead of blocking it. A life of simplicity where you no longer need to overcomplicate what was always meant to be natural. If you are listening to this now, it is because you are ready to live in this flow. You are ready to stop trying so hard. You are ready to dissolve resistance, release control, and embody trust. You are ready to see yourself as the future self now, not later. You are ready to walk as a conscious observer, noticing the signals, reading the synchronicities, and trusting the rhythm of divine timing. The universe placed this message in your path because you are prepared to embody the effortless method fully. So from this moment forward, carry your observation with reverence. Let your thoughts and emotions align into coherence. Step into the identity of your future self. Trust that timing is perfect. Surrender the need to force. Live with gratitude for the signs along the way. And as you do, you will see that manifestation is not something you work at, but something you live. It becomes constant, natural, and effortless. This is the truth you were meant to remember. Manifestation is simpler than you were taught. It works best when you stop trying so hard. And once you live in that truth, the universe responds with synchronicity, abundance, and flow beyond anything you could imagine. This is the effortless method. This is the life waiting for you now.